Today we're continuing our harbor scene with part 2, so stick around. Hey there guys! Today we'll be continuing our harbor page from Romantic Country's third tale. Last week we took the blank wall of the building in the background and did a step-by-step brick tutorial on it. If you missed that episode, I'll link to it down in the description so that you can check that one out too. But today's tutorial will be focusing on the stacked stone wall as well as the pier floor, which will turn into planks, once again using our ruler. Let's get right to it, and we're going to start with an overall foundation layer of ginger root with very light pressure, and we'll be layering colors on top of this one to give it more of the color that I'm looking for. So this ginger root is just our foundation. Don't be afraid to layer colors on top of one another if you're not finding just the right color in your pencil box. Just test them out on a piece of scrap paper to make sure that you'll achieve that look that you're going for. After that, we'll put another all-over layer of sand, and the combination of this ginger root color and the sand will give me the color that I'm looking for. Once that's done, I'll take my dark umber and put in our first layer of shadows. Since this is stacked stone, and these stones will be all sorts of sizes and shapes, and it'll stick out differently in different places, this shadow layer will be pivotal in achieving the depth that we need here. So make your shadows all sorts of shapes and sizes. Now onto my favorite layer, which is our mildew and moss layer. Because this rock is so close to the water, you have to imagine that it sees a lot of action, lots of water, lots of moisture, so these rocks would not be clean and pristine. They'd be growing all sorts of organic life on them. So we're going to put in layers of a few different greens, more so at the bottom of the wall as well as in the cracks. And I'm doing this with very light hand, just softly feathering my greens against the other colors so they'll blend out nicely later. Now back in with another layer of deeper shadows with my French Gray 90%. And in with our blender, focusing in circular motions from the center outward, sort of in a spiral, so that we don't pull too much of our darker shadows out into the areas that we want to keep nice and bright. I really love watching this kind of process with a bunch of different colors and a bunch of different areas of different colors, because it's in those last like 1 or 2 steps that it really comes together and pops, and I think that this one is no exception. All right, now we'll start with our horizontal lines for our planked pier here. And you don't have to do horizontal, you're free to use them in any direction that you choose. Honestly, if I did them all over again, I would have made the width of the plank smaller as I moved back towards the stone wall to give it the illusion of space or perspective. But oh well, it still comes out nice in the end. Oh, and if you missed it, I did a detailed tutorial on this wood treatment in my dragon eggs video 2 weeks ago. So if you missed that one, I'll put a link in the description to it as well so that you can check it out as I go into a lot more detail in that video. You'll notice I'm also putting in those same mossy greens into certain areas on my planks here before I put in the browns. And if you choose your colors carefully, these greens will show through and give you that same illusion of moss growing on these boards just like it would in real life. Don't forget your shadows here too. And in the final layer of bronze, it's not only warming up the tone of these planks, but it's also acting as my blender pencil, pushing around all of these great browns and feathering out any of the hard lines or any of the white spaces that I may have missed with the light umber. And that is it for today. I am loving how this page is coming along, and I'm glad that we decided to do this plank treatment on the pier, as it's adding yet another natural element to our page on top of those bricks and that stacked stone. Be sure to join me next week when we'll be wrapping this page up. Here's another sneak peek of that finished page. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave me a big thumbs up by hitting that like button. I really appreciate it. It helps new folks find my channel. And please subscribe if you're new. Before we go, let's see what you guys have been up to by checking out this week's featured work. If you would like to submit your work to be featured here, you can do so in one of two ways, either by posting on Instagram using the hashtag PencilStash, or in our PencilStash adult coloring group on Facebook. Thanks again for watching. I will see you all next time.